According to Spinoza and many philosophers, determinism is ruling our life and everything, by the way. That is to say, our free will is just an illusion. How can we change if we don't have any free will? When Descartes first began or pronounced, he said, "I think, therefore I am." By the end, and that's what he was very famous for. By the end, through some grace, I don't actually know all of the details of his life, but by some grace, he actually had an awakening such that by the end he had changed it around into, "I am, therefore I think." And I mention this because the dilemma with so many philosophers is those of us in academia. We read, we digest, we learn, and then we give back or slightly put our own spin on it. But basically, we're only able to spout philosophies based on what we know. I'm only able to develop a philosophy based on what I've experienced. And this is one of the reasons why, from my perspective and the perspective of so many, the spiritual traditions, the mystic traditions, and it's not only within Hinduism, but it's in many of the world's religions, are actually the ones that really give us the philosophies that really can guide our lives. Because those are philosophies given by those who actually had the experience of the divine. Whether they had it through Islam and we call them Sufis, whether they had it through Judaism and we call it Kabbalah, whether they had it through Hinduism and they're the rishis and the sages, it doesn't matter. When you look at what St. Francis said, and what Rumi said, and what sages and saints living in the Himalayas said, they're all saying the same thing, because when they're tapping into the same experience, they're giving us the same teaching. And the reason I mention it here is determinism tends to get used. We talk about it a lot when we talk about destiny and free will, and I don't want to go into too many of these details, but we tend to use it as a way to justify not doing. Well, if it's already determined, if it's already written, so what's the point? What we've been given is what's called buddhi, our intellect. We've been given the drive within. Pujya Swamiji spoke last night about the drive within to attain enlightenment. Free will is our ability to take what we have in the moment and use it to create a new moment. Where I am today, what I have today is determined. Whether you say it was determined by determinism or whether you say it was determined through karma or destiny, doesn't matter. The fact that we are all sitting here right now was predetermined. How far pre, it doesn't matter. We could argue for years. We could bring in different philosophers. Was it determined by God? Was it determined by my past lives? It doesn't matter. Was it simply determined because last week I saw this thing online and I signed up? Predetermined means at some moment prior to right now, it was determined. Pre-now means before now, it was determined. Okay. Who determined it? We won't go there right now. But it was predetermined. Now we're here. None of us can snap our fingers or wiggle our nose and bring ourselves to Paris or Bombay, even back to London. We're here. But what do we do with where we are right now? So up until now, that was predetermined. But where are we going to be tomorrow? Where are we going to be next week? Today is the in the predetermined part of tomorrow. Today is the in the predetermined part of next week and next year. So what we do today is predetermining where we're going to be next week and next year. So rather than worry too much about this philosopher said this, but that one said that, I mean, it's interesting from an intellectual standpoint. But as far as actual juice and magic that changes our lives, very few of our lives have been changed by something that's just interesting. The problem is we use so much of the energy we have, so many of the precious hours of our day, in that which is just interesting, this philosophy, that philosophy, this teaching, that teaching. Whereas really what we need is that which gives us the ability to change our lives. So, who predetermined today, when it was predetermined, how it was predetermined? Don't worry so much about that. Worry much more about today. Because today is what's predetermining tomorrow and next week and next year. And how can I today, quickly the example we always give is, if you've got an apple tree today, you can be pretty sure that at some point in the past, you planted an apple seed. Apple trees don't grow out of thin air. So if tomorrow I want a peach tree, if I don't like this apple tree that I have, instead of worrying about where the apple seed came from, who planted it, when it was planted, why I don't remember planting it, how I can chant the peach mantras and sing the peach songs and do the proper peach visualizations to turn my apple tree to a peach tree, how I can find the peach guru who will wave the magic peach wand and turn my apple tree to a peach tree. Rather than that, what we recognize is that peach trees come from peach seeds. And if what I want is a peach tree tomorrow, I need to plant a peach seed today. And as I'm planting that peach seed, I simultaneously pray to God, to the divine, to my guru, to my inner self, to whomever I pray. Not to wave the magic wand and turn my apple tree into a peach tree, but to give me the ability, while my peach tree is growing from the seed I've planted, but to give me the ability to love, to accept the apple tree I have, to overcome the allergy to apples I have. And if I can't overcome the allergy to the apples and benefit from my own apple tree, can I at least open my orchard to the children of the nearby school so they can come and pluck apples? Can I learn to make apple pie or apple jam and give it to others? To take what I have and use it, to share and to